The biggest mistake that homeschool moms seem to make at the beginning of the year after Christmas break. We're gonna chat all about that because I'm preaching to the choir right here. January can be really overwhelming for me as a homeschool mom. Maybe it is for you too. I know that we like to take about 2 weeks off during Christmas break, usually the week of Christmas and then the following week of New Year's. And then we try to get back into the homeschool groove. And a lot of times that is the most stressful week of the entire year for me, especially because my youngest is involved in a lot of things. Like this year he's doing a Christmas play and he's doing the music for the play. He's doing additional music for the church. There's just a lot going on. So getting back into that homeschool groove can really throw me for a loop. So in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about some of the stressors of January homeschooling and how we can kind of mellow those out a little bit. So really the biggest mistake, and I see this not just in myself, but in my own homeschool group. I have a group of homeschool moms. There's about 7,000 of us in there. If you would like to join, I have the link down below in my description box for you. The biggest mistake I seem to see with everybody is restarting too aggressively. And it's almost hard not to do this because a lot of us do Christmas school and then we feel behind. When we restart our homeschool too aggressively, it can throw everything into chaos. Christmas school, I love Christmas school, don't get me wrong. I actually didn't do Christmas school this year because I really just didn't want to deal with the January stress of having to go back into our normal homeschool curriculum because I knew it was going to be a mess for me. Like mentally, I just didn't want to deal with it, and I did not want to take off that much time from our normal curriculum because we are doing some things that are a little bit more aggressive this year. And the last thing that I wanted to do was to break from those subjects, but at the same time, I couldn't figure out how to practically fit in the aggressive subjects in Christmas school. It would have been too overwhelming for my son. So I had to just kind of say, okay, we got to either just do one or the other here. And I did not pick Christmas school. So throughout the Christmas season, we just did our regular homeschool curriculum up until Christmas break. So why does this happen? This happens for a lot of reasons, but I'm going to kind of name the biggest reason right off the bat. And I know that this is why I restart too aggressively. It's because I feel behind. And it's because I took 2 weeks of Christmas school and then I took 2 weeks of a break. So in my brain, I'm 4 weeks behind. And then I might not have our end of year grades done in time to submit to our cover school. One of the things that we have to do is we have to submit grades twice a year. So I have to do that in December and I have to do that in at the end of the year, usually like at the end of May or beginning of June. So my job is to make sure that the grades are done before then. So for me, I'm a little bit more on a crunch of a timetable than most homeschoolers are. So I kind of have to stay on a little bit of a track. So when I take several weeks off, or if I get behind, I can sometimes panic, and that kind of makes me start way too aggressively, and then I just stress everybody out. And I know that I do this, so I'm trying to not do this. So midterms are also something that stresses me out because midterm grades are usually around December, and sometimes our curriculum falls in this weird slot where, and this happened with us with biology this year. We do Apologia's biology for 9th grade. This happened to me this year. So however the year just ends up falling and landing with our schedule, it just so happened that the week that we're supposed to come back from Christmas break, so the first week of January, he was supposed to do his biology midterm. And I was like, oh no, that's not gonna work for me. I don't want him brain dumping before. And some kids can do that, like they can study the whole Christmas break and they're gonna feel like really confident going into that. That's not this child. So I need to make sure that he takes that midterm test before we go on Christmas break, because that's going to cause a huge problem for us later on down the road when he has to take that in January. So that can be a stressor for me. I like to have like a clean break where there's no exams coming back. I want to make sure that we get like all the exams done and we start fresh when we come back from Christmas break. But here's what I want to really stress to all of my homeschool moms here. We are on our own schedule. We are not being held to a different standard than anybody else just because we homeschool. We are not behind. So if you ask yourself, am I behind? Ask yourself the follow-up question, behind who? Okay? So remember that the next time that you start to panic, like I do in January. Our goal is to not keep up with the public schoolers. We are on our own timeline, and that's a big reason why so many of us homeschool. What is a really good thing to do during the Christmas break, and I usually do this every single year, is I ask myself, what's working, what's not? Can I reassess? And this is a really good time to do that because we've had ample amounts of time to use our curriculum and to get a feel for what we're doing. Is there anything that's causing any major problems in our homeschool that maybe we can fix or tweak? This is a great time to do that. So really what I want to do is reassure you in this video that you do not have to stress as much as you feel you might have to sometimes, because I see this a lot. And again, this is not just me. I see this in the homeschool groups that I'm in. I see it in my own group sometimes. Usually every year I see at least a couple parents kind of having like that mental moment where it's like, okay, what do I do? And then inevitably everybody gets stressed out because mom's stressed out, everybody gets stressed out. So I just kind of want to tell you, in January, this is a good time to take a deep breath, to start fresh with new things, and make tweaks if you need to. But whatever you do, don't panic. Even if you think you're behind, you're not really behind, because who are you behind? Nobody. Your child is on your timeline with your subjects, and that's one of the best things, because your kids can move ahead quicker, or you can take time and move a little bit slower, just, you know, if they need it, or if you just want to take some extra time with a subject, you can do that too, which is fantastic, and we love sometimes doing that and going down rabbit trails. You can do so many different things with your child's education. So I don't want you to stress, and I don't want you to freak out coming back from Christmas break. Don't do a Mandy. Don't pull a Mandy and kind of freak out and think that you're behind. Everything is going to be okay. We're all going to make it through. And January is just like this weird time in homeschooling. It's like the weirdest month. So everybody take a collective deep breath with me, and let's get back to homeschooling with joy and with ease. We're going to make it through. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.